Welcome to the Void Podcast. Speaking to you from the Void are Selena and Kori.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Welcome back to episode 2.
Oh yeah, hi guys.
Yeah, the podcast started. We're starting.
We're doing a great job at starting.
Mm-hmm. Sorry for the complete radio silence. Both of us had stuff going on, and it's been a while.
I guess it kind of fits our theme though, because I mean we're supposed to be in the void. So
we
maybe
are.
We're just like we just drifted a little bit.
We
and
drifted.
We kind of forgot that we planned a podcast together, and life got busy. In what, like 2 months?
It's been a while. A really long time.
It's been a lot longer than I was originally planning. I was like, oh, I'll do it in like a week or two, and then it's like 3 months later. It's like, wait, we started something. So we were planning. We didn't plan anything. I don't want to lie. We decided we were just gonna jump in because we have a few questions that we had from that we got a while ago. So we were just gonna jump in and start answering them. Which, funny enough, most of these are the heavier questions than last time.
Mm-hmm.
So which one did you want to start with?
We could start with a light one. Do we have any light ones?
The lightest, the lightest one that I see is the 3 pieces of art in your house. Because, like what you were saying, I think we talked about that beforehand, but we didn't actually like record it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even think of an answer for that. I planned out everything except for that one. I was like, maybe we did that one. Whatever. Do you have any idea what 3 pieces of art you'd want in your house?
I would want something that looks kind of haunted. Like, I don't have anything in mind, but I'd want, like, one piece that looks really creepy and weird. Not, like, I can't look at this creepy and weird, but just, like, maybe, like, a woman, you know, and, like, her eyes sort of seem to follow you. I think that would be really fun to have.
I'm glad that's what you said. In my brain, I was waiting for you to be like, I want an ominous painting of a clown.
Well, I want that too, obviously.
But, like, it looks almost all black, and then when you get really close, you see, like, the silhouette and, like,
Kori!
like a dark
oh
cover
my god!
Of a clown.
Oh, why didn't I think of that? Well, I want that now. Why'd you put that idea in my head?
Either that or, like, during the day, it looks really dark, and then at night, it's, like, glow in the dark.
Holy shit. Okay, that one's cool. But then it would be, like, dark during the day, and then at nighttime, it would be glow in the dark, and it would be that Skyrim screen cap of the guy in the wagon. Like the meme. Which is, like, my favorite thing. So, yeah, that's my pieces of art.
Oh god, I'm so unprepared. It's so funny because as I'm thinking about it now, you're gonna laugh. It's so bizarre. So the first one, I was like, oh, I want like water lilies, like one of the water lily paintings by Claude Monet.
That's not weird. It's nice.
Well, no, I'm saying is what I'm gonna say afterwards.
Oh, okay.
The first one is like, yeah, that's classic. People like Monet. I love Monet. And then for the second one, I want a dinosaur in a spacesuit.
Oh my god. I was rendered speechless. That's amazing.
I want I'm gonna be nerdy really quick. My favorite dinosaur is an iguanodon.
Oh, good choice.
So I want an iguanodon in a spacesuit.
I love that.
I don't know if I want him on a planet. No, I changed it. I just thought of, like, the perfect thing. Okay, so I want him roller skating on Saturn's rings.
Dude, that's really good.
Oh, wait, that's only 2 pieces, though.
Yeah, you need one more.
Oh, the last one will just be a painting of Bumblebee. That's it.
All right. That's valid.
Like, that's it. That's it. That's why I was like, you're going to think that's going to be such a weird change. because I was just like, oh yes, Water Lilies by Claude Monet, but also a dinosaur in a spacesuit roller skating on Saturn's
Listen,
ring.
duality of man. It's fine.
Okay, so that was a great opening for that.
Yes.
And somehow still, in both of them, I still managed to talk about dinosaurs. Both in the last one.
That's your brand.
It's my brand. Okay. So for the next one, I guess we can. Wow, I really opened the wrong tab of questions. That was great. Did you want to talk about the gender one? Because I feel like that's one that we both can like.
Yeah, sure.
Weigh in. So one of the questions or suggestion of something for us to talk about was someone said they wanted to hear us talk about gender non-binary because we both identify as non-binary and how it challenges our binary idea of what gender is supposed to be.
That's really nice. It's like, and I struggled with this for like so long because for the longest time, even though like I knew that it wasn't true and like I know that it's not true, I couldn't help but like see it sort of as like a third gender, even though like it's not. And so I was just sort of like, well, I don't know if I fit in with that because I don't identify as, like, it was just so confusing and up in the air, and like it took me a really long time to sort of realize that like, yeah, I guess this is a thing that I could apply to myself. Really? Yeah. Like, I didn't prepare anything for this. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
No, you're good.
Let me.
How old were you when you realized you were non-binary?
What year did Undertale come out? Because it was like that year. I know that sounds like it was. It sounds so weird, but it was.
Oh man, I was in my first year of college, I think. So I think that was 2015, 2016.
I think it was 2015 because I remember I had just started my first job, which meant I had just graduated. So that was 2015. Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, did we come up as non-binary the same year?
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, because you said that, and I was like, yeah, I remember that. Like, specifically, I remember Undertale around the time I realized I was non-binary. That's why when you said that, I was like, wait.
Yeah, but for me, it was because that year for Halloween, I decided to dress up as Metaton. And
I remember that.
Yeah, I dressed up as Metaton, and then I posted some pictures, and then, like, at the time, I did not have, like, a huge following, but those photos ended up getting like more notes than I usually did because it was like a cosplay thing that other people who didn't follow me thought was cool. So it got spread around a little, and then it got reblogged by some people who didn't know me. And so in the tags, a couple people were like, oh, they look really cute. And it was like, because you know, they didn't know my pronouns, and at the time I didn't have them listed because I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter, everyone knows me. But that was the first time that anyone had like referred to me as they, and I was like, oh my god, I really, really like that. And I just like never experienced a feeling like that before because everyone just always called me she. And then just this like one time these people were calling me they, and I was like, this is like causing something inside me to like stir. And
yeah,
like,
it's like Victoria.
And I didn't like figure anything out for like another like it took me like years, but like that was like the beginning of it, was when I realized like something was just, there was a spark there when people called me they.
There's something so nice about like testing out other pronouns, because then it's like, especially when it's like if you use more than one. And but like my favorite thing is when people alternate. Like sometimes you're used to one, and then when someone uses something like they them, like I always get really excited when that happens.
Yeah.
And the thing with gender is that, like, when you said the third gender, that's literally, I literally had a conversation with my boyfriend about this yesterday.
Really?
You know, well, yeah, because like recently I was like, oh, I think I'm a demi boy, and like for the past like, week and a half, I was like, yes, but then I was like forcing myself to, I'm like, well, I'm boy now, and I'm like, wait, that ruins the whole purpose of being non-binary. And so then I did this whole thing. I told my friends about it. I told my sister about it and everything. And then I realized that it was almost like I was just forcing myself into another box that kind of, you know, well, not obviously the term itself is good for people, but for me, it just kind of felt like I was just putting myself in another box when in reality, how did my boyfriend describe it? It was so perfect. He said, rather than a box, you're more like a bubble. You know, you're going through constant changes.
Ooh.
Maybe one day you're a little bit bigger. Maybe one day you're a little bit smaller. One day it pops. It's very short-lived. And then maybe one day it just kind of like stays whole a little longer. And with my gender identity is that I realize I shouldn't be forcing, you know, societal standards onto me, but then also not forcing what other people expect out of me. Like, you know, like my family, you know, growing up, I was always forced to dress very feminine, and it made me hate femininity. But when it's on my own terms, I love it. I just hated being, you know, forcing myself to be and fit a mold on what other people want. And I realized, actually, I really don't care how people view me. It's that I've just been in my head about what is expected out of me. So then I realized, well, I'm just non-binary. There's no side term or anything.
Yeah.
I love it when people use pronouns other than she, her, though. Like, I realize it doesn't bother me as much as I thought, but whenever someone says he, him, or uses they, them, I just get this sense of like, oh, thank God someone sees me as something other than a woman. But like even yesterday, some of my friends referred to me as handsome, and I almost lost my mind. I was like, oh God, I love that. It's so much better than just being called cute or pretty. It's just like, oh, you look handsome today. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. So yeah, I feel like though, rather than being like, you know, you and I have joked about it. It's like, oh, I'm kind of a woman.
Yeah.
Like, that's, for me, that's like the best way to describe my gender. I'm like, kind of, I guess. There's nothing really there. It's more like, I have a vague image on what it could be.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm me and whatever suits me on that day.
Yeah. For me, I've figured out recently that I like the term gender fluid, because it sort of, that's like how I think the closest to like how I feel, because I don't know, I've called myself like a demigirl before, but then some days I wake up and it's very like, no, I am a girl. I feel like a girl today. I'm not like anything else. And then other days I wake up and I'm like, no, I'm not a girl. And then like both times I like feel bad calling myself a demigirl. But like just imagining my gender as being something that's fluid, that can like is allowed to change without, you know, being in one state is like nice. And I don't know. So that's where I am at right now.
I understand that feeling a lot, because I think actually that's how I found out about non-binary, was because I remember I was on Tumblr, of course. So, and then I saw the word gender fluid for the first time and I was like, what does that mean? And I, you know, that like started on when you look into things, and then I just remember being so like jealous of, I felt like I couldn't be anything other than a girl. And it was so nice seeing people who were like, yeah, you know, I love being gender fluid and I can kind of experiment with myself and how I view my gender. And I feel like that's such a nice gateway into that. And, you know, especially within yourself, on like, that's literally how it is. It's like you wake up one morning and you're like, I feel today.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, it's kind of funny. It's almost like you go in your closet and you're like,
yeah.
am I a woman today? No. We're gonna pick the ugly sweater in the back. That's who I am today. The gray ominous orb, like, I don't know, like, so it's I think that's a really good way to kind of like view it, like, not really. And then also experimenting with labels is always fun to me. Like, I used to feel bad about it because I'm just like, God, I keep changing my pronouns. I keep changing what name I want to go by. I don't know. But then after a while, I'm like, you know what? Like, I didn't get to choose my name.
Yeah.
I didn't get to choose what gender I wanted to be. I would love to go back into Sims custom creator and figure out what kind of person I want to be. Yeah. I wish I could just, like, without, like, the stress, I could just customize it and then change it whenever. And I feel like a lot of people who identify as non-binary feel the same. But, yeah, so I think it's something to experiment with and not let society judge you and not even like, oh my god, the thing I hate the most is like people enforcing it like you have to be androgynous all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mind it. Usually that's how I dress, but some days I'm like, you know what? I want to dress up and I'm not going to feel bad about it because this is what makes me comfortable today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe every now and then I want to wear a dress and some cute shoes. Like, I don't know. All just depends on the day.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun question. I liked that question.
That was fun.
Alright. What should we... I'm trying to see... Oh, God. It's like too heavy. Well, it's like 3. I'm not going to say the last one is... The schoolwork one is heavy. But, like, did you want to do the bi relationship one, or did you?
Sure.
I can do the passing one because I have experience with that.
Okay.
So one of the questions we got was someone on here identifies as bisexual, and they said that they are in a relationship with a guy, but they've never been with a girl. Any tips on feeling valid on that without evidence? I think the biggest thing with that, and I was thinking about this earlier because even though I'm non-binary, when I first got with my boyfriend, I was a lot more feminine, and I saw myself as more as a woman, and there was a while where I did feel kind of self-conscious and anxious about it, because a lot of my friends who I was talking to online were like strictly women loving women. Either they were lesbian or even they were bi, but they found more attraction towards women. And I felt myself getting really anxious about it because I'm like, am I bi enough? Am I gay enough? Because I'm dating a man. But then I had to remember at the end of the day that I am bisexual, which is literally being attracted to more than one gender. And that, I am attracted to multiple genders, and there's no shame in me being with a guy. Like, literally, that's the whole point of, identifying as bisexual,
Mm-hmm.
and that as long as I'm with someone that loves me for me, and, that's honestly the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really owe it to anyone else on who you're attracted to. It's just like, if you find yourself attracted to someone, they treat you well, you treat them well, and you guys are in a loving relationship. I feel like that's more important than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't make you invalidated in your sexuality.
Plus, you don't have to, like, try something to know that you like it,
Exactly.
Like...
If you're attracted to women, then that's like, and it doesn't even have to be sexually. If you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind being in a relationship with a woman, it's like, well, yeah, that's fine. Like, yeah, that, and people who kind of gatekeep that, I feel like that's not fair, and it's very inconsiderate.
It's not fair because it suggests that you need to experiment with everything and, like, go through all of the motions and try everything in order to, like, judge what the final thing that you've arrived at is. That was a stupid way to word that sentence. Got away from me.
You're good. Yeah, no, I feel that as long as, if you're honest with yourself and you feel that you're attracted to women, but, I mean, and it's okay if you're in a relationship with a guy, and it's also really good to, let them know that as well, that you are bisexual and that they shouldn't invalidate your sexuality either. Mm-hmm. That was also something I was really anxious about because my boyfriend identifies as straight,
mm-hmm.
and so when, we got together and I started kind of being a little more open, I think the funniest conversation that we had was he said that he was gay light.
Gay light.
But it's more him being like open and like him also learning like, oh, maybe I'm not, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
And so that's like what he's exploring to do, and I feel like that's something to be honest and open with in a relationship, but then also with like friends and things. And if you meet people and they try to invalidate you for that, you probably need to find new friends.
Yeah.
People who do things like that aren't really worth keeping around if they judge you based on your sexual attraction.
Right.
That one wasn't too bad.
No.
Okay, so what do you feel about the one about the first semester in college? Do you want me to reread that one? Because I know it's kind of long.
It's very long and I don't remember it.
Okay. So this one said, I have a lot on my plate right now. I'm in my first semester of college and I came in with 20 hours of credit. Okay. Sorry, I have to remember what that means. College. So hypothetically, I could shorten my college career in 3 years instead of the usual 4. This would save me a lot of money, which is a big deal for me, but it would also mean 18-hour semesters, and I've got to keep my grades up to keep a scholarship. And I'm afraid that I might not be able to do it if my workload is heavy, but I'm also afraid that my mom will pressure me to take the heavier workload to save money, and I won't feel like I'm able to say no because she's my primary support here. I really think I should do 4 years with lighter semesters, but I'm stressed about it and my grades. Any advice? That was long.
Here's the thing about taking a heavier workload to make it shorter. If you take the heavier workload to try to do things really fast, who's to say you're not going to burn yourself out and then have to take more time off to recover from that anyway? Because I was, when I went to university, I was in like a fixed program with like a very specific number of credits, so I never like had the experience that my other friends did where you had to like pick and choose your courses. But from what they all said, like go for the one that gives you more time, because you, even if you like think you might be able to handle it, it's always good to just be kind to yourself. Like even like I don't want to tell you to like spend all your money. Like this is a question that I'm like, oh my god, I'm worried that if I give you the wrong advice, something bad is gonna happen. But like I feel like taking care of yourself is more important than you think it is. If that makes sense.
No, I understand that. And also, I'm going to put the disclaimer, because you said that, and I'm putting the disclaimer in. We are not therapists.
Right.
This is just an advice podcast. But what I would say, I agree with Selena in the case of, like, doing the lighter semester. And as someone who... I remember my situation in college was, so my dad is former military, and so for me to keep health insurance, one of the things was as I had to be a full-time student, and I didn't get any help with tutoring. I have only been taking out loans for college, and so I was like pressuring myself with doing too much because I was like, I can't lose this health insurance. I need it. I have to push myself through it just so I can go to the doctor. But as time went on, I realized that pushing myself in a heavier workload, it was not doing well for me. I was losing sleep. And I already have insomnia, so it literally made it worse to the point where I got sleep paralysis because I was forcing myself to do way too much work.
Oof.
And while money, I do understand with like how parents feel. They're like, they want to save money, they want you to be able to go. But I feel that if you're going to go to college, it'll be worth it just to kind of ride it out, take it easy. I know that you have a scholarship, and obviously the scholarships have high demands, it's not fair at all. I really feel like scholarships shouldn't be trying to force you to do so much with the money that they give you. Because one of my roommates has a situation where she has to take, former roommate, but she had to take like 7 or 8 classes a semester, which is crazy to me.
Okay, I'm like, that's a lot.
I'm like, I can barely do 4.
Oh god.
And just the thought of hearing that and like just seeing her work so hard and get so overwhelmed, I was just like, I feel that it'd just be better just to kind of take it at your pace. And of course, like, one important thing to remind yourself, and I kind of use other people as an example, you see older people going back to school.
Yeah.
And they took their time. So, and I'm not saying like stop going to school and just kind of take a break. But I mean, if that's something that opens up for you where you can kind of like take it gradually, even if it's something where you can take less classes a semester, but you're still getting it done, it's going to take a little bit longer, but at least you're not like pushing yourself past like a breaking point.
Yeah.
Because your mental health, especially in college, is so important. It's so important to like take it easy, do some work, have time to relax, spend time with people, or have your alone time, spend time with friends, and if you have pets, spend time with your pets. But like not forcing so much pressure onto yourself, because that's very unhealthy, and you'll get your degree, but is it going to be worth the
Yeah.
recovery time after that?
Yeah.
I feel like. So, long story short, I went on a tangent. Long story short, I feel that, taking it easy, I know that money is a priority, and obviously your situation is probably different. But I feel like if there's a way for you to kind of just take it one step at a time, I feel like that's more important than just pushing.
Yeah, definitely. It's not a race.
It's not a race. It's so easy. That's my one pet peeve about not even just with parents, but with societies. They feel like you're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you might as well like take it easy and take it one step at a time and do something. And especially if it's something that you're passionate about, take your time to get into it, kind of learn and meet other people and like be young while you can.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing about being in like your 20s is you're supposed to be young and enjoy it a little bit. You're not supposed to be stressed out.
Yeah.
I hate how society has made that seem like, oh, if you don't have this done by the time you're 25, you're a failure. And it's like, oh, okay. I'm sorry if you hear yelling in the background. I had to put my cats up.
Oh.
Because my littlest kitten was just screaming in here, and I was like, that's not going to work for this podcast. I can't. I'm sorry. But I don't even know if you can hear her.
I heard something just then.
If it sounds like yowling, that's her.
Yeah, it was.
She's on the other side of the house, but somehow it's still louder than I am in here. I don't know how she does it.
She's very talented.
Oh, she's so talented. She could be a singer. Okay, and then unfortunately the heaviest one is the last question that we have. So if you want after this one, if you want to just update on if you just want to discuss what you want to do in the future, if you want to have something light after this, we can always do that because this is the heaviest thing that we have.
Okay.
I didn't mean to save that for the end.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so the last one that we have is a little more of a personal question. I guess I should put I'll just say like a little warning. We're going to be talking about death, and I'm also going to answer this one, I'm going to have like a personal story to kind of relate to this so I can explain how to deal with it. So I am going to say that there is a suicide mention, but I'm going to keep it really brief. I don't want to go too deep into it. So the last question that we have, someone said they didn't know if we had experience with this, but a friend of theirs had passed away and they didn't really know how to process it. It says, I'm in my late teens. I think people don't know how to treat my grief because I'm not a crying little kid or an adult who knows how to navigate these things. I'm just here sitting in my feelings. I miss my friend. So the first thing I'm going to say is that there are many adults that don't know how to navigate these things. Mm-hmm. And as someone who I was in high school and I had a dear friend of mine commit suicide. How old was I? I was 16 years old. And I'm 23 now, and I'm going to say I still am learning how to process and navigate through dealing with my grief. The most important thing, I'm going to go to my notes really quick because I typed all of this down. I wanted to be prepared. The most important thing is not distancing yourself during this time, because that was one of the hardest things dealing with it. Was I had people who, also were close to this friend, and they were still processing it as well. And one of the biggest mistakes I made was isolating myself. I was just sitting with these feelings, processing, and it literally led me to spiral into a deeper depression because I just kind of let myself be alone, not really talking about it with anyone. Whether it be like close friends, family, anyone who you trust and you feel like will validate, well, not validate, but like anyone who you feel that you can really talk to about this, I feel like talking to them about it is key. If there's any way you can go get grief counseling, I know it's kind of hard, especially if you said that you're in your late teens, so you may have access to it, I don't know. I would say that's something to bring up with your guardians, whether it be your parents or anyone else who you're staying with. Bringing up going to grief counseling, talking to a professional about how to deal with these feelings. Keeping in touch with social circles. So like I said, like talking to other people, and even if it's like you don't really necessarily want to talk about it, spending quality time with people who make you happy, who bring you joy, spending time, if you have pets, spending time with your pets, navigating into new hobbies and interests, just things that can get your mind off of it. So a good balance of talking about it with people who you trust and feel comfortable with, and also kind of finding time to spend with yourself and kind of letting yourself feel the feelings. There's nothing wrong with, there's nothing wrong with thinking about it, crying about it, being angry about it. It's a lot of mixed emotions because death is always something that's really hard to deal with. It's always the acceptance of dealing with, losing someone, especially losing someone who's close to you. And it's always been a difficult thing to deal with. And especially if there's anyone that invalidates you of your feelings with the sadness, I have to emphasize this because this is something that I used to get like a lot of things from other people saying, oh, it's been like 3 months, it's been, a couple years. And it's like, well, it doesn't get easier. It's still something, especially if, their birthday passes or the holidays, if you spent the holidays with them, any little minor thing, anything can trigger it and make you feel bad about it. And so if there's anyone out there that's making you feel bad about feeling these feelings, it's best to kind of just distance yourself from them. Even if it's someone, who you're good friends with, if they're invalidating your feelings, you might have to take time away. If it's family, obviously you can't control if you live with your family, but if it's like distant family, kind of just take time away and, focus that time on people who love and support you. And also, even if it's hard, I know the biggest thing with dealing with sadness is reaching out. And I know with that comes a lot of anxiety and stress. But sometimes it's better just to make that big step and reach out to people and be like, hey, I've been feeling really sad about this. Can we hang out? Or, hey, I just really need to get this off my chest. Is it okay if I talk to you? And, that's the most important part with dealing with grief. And my condolences. I'm very sorry for your loss. I know it's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'll say this. I mean, I know that you put this anonymously, but if you are listening, my Tumblr is OhTheGhost, OHTHE. I had to figure out. Okay, OHTHEGHOST, OhTheGhost. And if you ever want to message me, feel free to send me an ask. And if you need help talking about it, I am here. But I do understand the difficulty with dealing with those things. So that is my splurge on that.
That was really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But God, I don't know where to go from there.
Well, I think you answered it pretty perfectly.
Okay, because I was getting worried I was repeating myself after a while.
No, it was really nice.
I had to type all of that. I literally went from my notes because I was like, I want to make sure I'm giving the best advice I can for this type of thing.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to deal with. But that is our last question. We don't have any more questions.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do now, Selena?
Oh my god, I don't know. We could just talk about all the things we like now.
I feel like we'd be here for a while.
We would be here for a while, and this episode would be 3 hours long.
Oh god. Then I would truly start my Jurassic Park tangent.
Yeah.
I guess we can, if you want, we can like, was there a specific, and I know obviously we can talk about this one-on-one too,
Mm-hmm.
but is there like a specific time frame you wanted to do the next one?
Not specifically. I mean, I thought it would be kind of nice if we did it like every couple weeks or so.
Yeah, like nothing too strict. I mean, it's a super casual thing.
Yeah.
So then like, we'll figure that out, guys. It won't be as long as last time.
Yeah.
Because I felt really bad about that. I was like, people probably forgot about it already. But, alright, so I guess we can wrap this one up. I guess we'll just kind of hang loose. And once again, if you guys want to send us any asks, we are at the Void Podcasts. We have to emphasize it was not a spelling error.
It was not
on
a spelling
Tumblr.
error. We did it on purpose.
On purpose. And so then you guys can send us any asks. And then also, if you guys do it on YouTube as well, I remember seeing one of your comments, you saying that you were okay with it on YouTube. So
yes.
If you guys comment on there too, and we will be sure to answer them in our next video. But thank you guys for listening.
Yes, thank you so much.
This was so much fun. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Void. Today's episode is brought to you by Existential Dread. Keep in touch with us in the comments on our YouTube. or on our Tumblr, thevoidpodcasts.tumblr.com. No, it's not a typo. See you soon.